Hey, welcome back to Clever Name Garage, because we couldn't think of a clever name. Get it? A lot has happened with this Torino project. In fact, tomorrow we're going to be dropping the motor in it. So this little video is going to catch you up to everything since the head gasket blew on the test stand up until pretty much today, and then we'll do another one with the motor in and all the other fun stuff. So thanks for watching, and like and subscribe and all that crap. All right, so we're back to work on the Torino. We decided that
known as Funky Cold Patina.
Funky Coal Patina. And because of that, we've decided we just need to start making progress. We just need to stop worrying about, silly things and all that. So we just got the trunk lid on. We got the brand new AMD bumper in place. We got a lot of this other stuff, and we got the oh, Jesus Christ. But it was time to just you know what? It was time to shit or get off the pot. So again, front suspension's all together. And of course we removed the fuel tank so that we could work in the trunk. We also have new valve covers, but we'll unveil those later on in this video, I think. This time we're going to make sure there's no voids in the water voids or air pockets in the head. I'm actually going to jack up the front of the stand a little bit, and when we add coolant to it, we're going to flush that radiator just to make sure there's no crap in it. And then we're going to run it, and hopefully we won't have any issues this time. Hey, welcome back to Clever Name Garage. It's really loud. You may ask yourself, why are you on a quad? And why are we taking a skid steer up through the woods? Well, hopefully to pick up a hidden gem here. Chris has an extra Mach 1 back here, way in the woods. And we are going to try to bring it out, so maybe we can cut it up or use some pieces parts, and hopefully we'll be able to drag it out. I don't know how buried it is. I've never even seen this car, so I didn't even know it was here. So we're going back through the Clever Name graveyard. That's the remnants of the 6x6 project that I think I showed you guys before. And there's a Jeep we were thinking about putting a different body on and making it something stupid. And I have no idea where we're going here. It's nice that we picked a day after 4 days of rain, but it's honestly not as muddy as I thought it'd be back here. Oh shit, that's mud though.
Yeah, don't go too far under, man. Ticks. Oh,
so this is a what year?
72.
72 Mach 1 with an intact windshield. Sitting back here with an intact windshield, I can't believe it. And rear glass.
Yeah. There's parts in there, man. Didn't restore it. I bought it for parts.
So this is going to be now a Mach 1 sled, since there is no rear end or wheels or anything on it, right? We're just going to try to just drag it back.
Well, we're not going to try. We're gone. It's getting dragged right now. Now.
That's a confident man. those aren't leaf springs, those are skis. Yeah, 4 straight days of rain. Yeah, he's even got the mats in the back there. The back window is still in great shape. I'm not 100% sure I can tow the skid steer out if he does get stuck, so. We have to take the glass out of this thing. It's a shame.
That's it. Tie it back together.
Yeah, let's tie a knot and see what we got.
Around the outside.
All right, knot tied.
Some big bolts down there, man. Those are sweet.
Side glass. Oh my God, look at the size of this spider. Dude, I've never seen a spider this big in Ohio. This is actually nicer than some of the stuff laying in the ground at the undisclosed location, you know that?
Yeah, it's a shame, man.
Alright, well, we'll drag it to a place we can actually do some work on it and see what we can scare up.
Big drag car.
Drag car? Because you just dragged it 200 yards through the woods? Why it's dragging so unevenly, the leaf spring on the driver's side collapsed underneath. Well, I imagine that may be its final resting spot. So one of the main pieces we were after is this little front section here. This is where the battery box goes, and ours on the Torino was terribly cheesily put back together. So even though this one's got some bends in it, we really only need about from here down to here. So we'll be able to pick that up. Trying to think, there's some other pieces, parts on this car we need too, and we'll just have to figure those out as we go. So we're headed out to the undisclosed location, and there have been several days of heavy rains here, and oh, it went blurry on me. Come on. This guy decided he was going to try to make this. And
Can you get a good picture of that?
you can see.
Is he driving? He's not moving, is he?
No, he's not moving. Yeah, we're gonna end up in the drink.
We almost got to go to the other side and see how bad it is.
Yeah, we're gonna take the long way around, and we'll see what we can find on the other side.
The trees out around it.
As you can see, we're back at the undisclosed location on an archaeological dig.
Oh, man, let me see that thing.
We've been sawzalling branches and trees and things to try to get access to the car. Right now, we haven't been able to really get a real good look, but right now the hood hinge is kind of in the way too. So right now this cowl area looks better on this car than it does on ours. Once that hood hinge is up, that'll reveal that real problem spot, and we'll have to take a look. But we're trying to get most of the trees. I mean, you literally have, well, that's one tree split in two, that's another tree split in two, another tree growing up through this car, so it's kind of...
Worse yet, they're mulberries.
And they're mulberries. Not sure what that matters, but...
Drop off all the food, and the rats love them.
You just blocked our path to get out. Just suiting up.
I gotta climb across here just so I can see if the dash is sitting in all this freaking...
So keep in mind, this is like 20 minutes of pruning just so that Chris can walk through here.
Climb through here to find something that I don't really want.
Well, is it because you don't know what you're going to land on?
I don't know. Oh my god, I'm gonna stick my fucking arm down. I mean, gosh darn it.
Our videos aren't for kids, you're allowed to swear.
I don't see what are you? Don't worry about it, I'm just talking smack. I'm just... Come here, you. Oh, man. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, man. I don't want to do this. Oh. Oh, shit. This is silly. We're doing things like this all to get this thing out of here. And it doesn't have a rip. What's this?
That was a close one.
How am I going to get back?
I don't know. I'm wondering, too, in order to take a look at that cowl, you do have to raise the hood hinge. And if you raise the hood hinge, you won't be able to get back over here because it'll be in your way.
There ain't no raising the hood hinge.
Can you remove them when they're down? Or do they have to be up in order to get access to the bolts?
You can't get the bolts, man. But you know what's cool about this car?
The quarters are messed up, but the shock towers are nice.
Even those
It's a 3-pedal car, so
pedals, man. I'm gonna turn in there to 4-speed. There's the pedals right there.
that's the way we cool guys say it. You know, it's a 3-pedal car because.
Break this.
But as you'll look here, Chris, show them the stack of hoods over there too.
There's a whole bunch of them.
There's a big stack of
Like,
Mach 1 hoods and.
oh, that's painful. That's painful. So much for the family jewels.
That was some exciting action footage. You don't get that on our channel very often. Hi, welcome back. We're back here at the shop with one of the things we scored at the undisclosed location. Ford 9-inch with a posi. And unfortunately, I think it's got a 456 gear in it. We have to double check. That's, when I counted, that's what I got. So, it may be a little taller than what we wanted, but it's what we're going to use. This side axle shaft is a little sticky. This side came out by hand with no problems. We got a sweet deal on this thing because it's only a 28 spline, and that's what we have in the car. So we're just going to swap out the center section. Yes, you know, a 456 is probably going to get, you know, a little silly after a little bit, but it'll be fun while we get the car going, and then we can always just swap out to a more sensible gear later on. So right now, like as you can see, I'm just heating up the housing with a rosebud just to kind of swell it up a little bit, maybe break that seal. That bearing is really stuck in there. But we're hopefully going to have this in the car within the next hour or so. And I'll also show you some of the other goodies that we scored. It's on. We're rolling. We're ready to go.
Okay. Well, here we are. Working on the Torino project again. It's all about the Torino. So we're thinking, like, here we are. We're like thinking, you know what? We built this motor. We redid the transmission. Doing all this work. This car, and then we're like, you know what, sure would be cool to have a posi rear end thing, which technically, according to the powers, the specialists, it should have had a 31 spline axle in the back with a posi unit. Typically, that's what comes in all these Cobras for some odd reason, but when they came off the assembly line, you never knew which you were going to get. If they were out of posi units, they would just stick something in there, and if you caught it, you caught it, and if you didn't, you didn't. So a lot of people don't even know what they actually got. I mean, I'm not saying that's like constantly, but if they ran out, they kept the line going. And they didn't shut down the line for one car, so anyway, this thing's supposed to have a different rear end in it, but it didn't. It's got an open rear end in it. It's only a 325 gear, so we're like, you know what, we do need at least a posi. So we went fishing. We came up with a posi.
I'll put all this before the flood, and I'll put the flood pictures in here and everything, so they'll know kind of that we were at the undisclosed location and all that.
Risk life and limb. We would risk life and limb to do a much needed improvement on this car. So we go out there, and the dude's like, yeah, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. And he's like, oh, but I got this whole axle sitting over here. You know, and we're like, well, what kind of gear is it? Like, well, it's definitely a posi. We're like, oh, that's cool. You know, and he's like, but it's probably like a 411 gear, which we really, I mean, 411 would have been like okay. A 350 or 391 would have been better,
But I mean, that's it. We took it anyway.
Yeah, we took it anyway.
411, we could live with 411.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, 411 gear. So we get it back to the shop, and we take it apart, and lo and behold, it's got this big fatty Richmond gear on it, and it's more like a 486 gear.
486. Every time I hear that, I laugh.
486. So that's all well and good, I guess. So now we have to change the purpose of the car. So basically the car with a 486 gear in it, and the way we built the motor is only going to be good for one thing. That's burning rubber. That's all we can do. That's all we can really do with this car at this point. But is that such a bad thing? You know what I mean?
The RPM calculator online says that if we're going 55 miles an hour, we're going to be doing 3,500 RPMs. So that's a lot. But you know what? Again, did we ever plan on taking this down the highway?
Such a hog.
This is just a.
If it's too ridiculous, we'll just change the gear.
But it's a boulevard cruiser.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud, man. Difference. Dude, this thing's really dirty. It's all the dirt all over it.
These will be wiped off before we put it up there, obviously. But it was laying on, it was sitting on the ground too, so.
Ring
Two
gear.
little gears.
Yeah, dude, we can't. It's all dirt.
We gotta wipe it down, man. Gotta clean it off.
Notice the thickness of this. That's how you can tell a posi. This is where all the clutch packs are inside of here and all the springs. Thickness of the gear. Right off the rip, you can tell it's a big gear. It's supposedly 488.
486.
486.
Okay, so it's a new day, and cooler heads have prevailed. You'll notice that there's a giant hole where the third member was, where we put the 486 gear in. After a lot of head shaking from John and Jose, Chris and I realized that instead of just joking about ruining the car, we truly would be ruining it if we put that 486 gear in it. So the plan now is to take this stock 325, I think it is, gear that was in the car. We'll take the open diff, chuck it. We'll take the 4-gear posi unit, stock Ford posi unit, out of the 486 gear. We'll swap it over, and then maybe we'll just put this all back together and see if anybody wants this rear end housing. It's going to be too wide for the Econoline. We could cut it down. I guess we'll see what happens when that time comes. But for right now, for the Torino, it's going to have a 325 posi. It might not be a complete burnout machine anymore like we thought it was going to be, but we will be able to go 35 miles an hour without hitting the red line. So that's a good thing. So as I was saying, calmer heads have prevailed. The 325 track lock has been installed. Anybody need a 486 gear? We got one here for you. It's in really nice shape.
Are we on air right now? Just kidding.
Come on. We don't care about this shit.
Yeah, all right, so man, look at this. So you know that feeling you get when you're working on somebody else's car? Well, it's our car now, but you're thinking, you know what, man? They did something right? Because we were replacing everything on this car. So we take off the drums, which look really good, and lo and behold, new brake pads, newish looking springs, cylinders, adjusters.
They're just dirty.
Stuff all looks good. Just been sitting for a while, but it looks like fresh, right? Except for the fact that when we start looking at it, how is that supposed to work? So the adjuster, ta-da, is being held in adjustment by, ta-da, the spring. So yeah, they did nothing right on this car. Unbelievable, man. So now we gotta get a spring kit, or a hardware kit.
Because we're missing what? We're missing the bar that goes across here for the emergency brake.
Yeah, we're missing the cable. There's like a little rider thing that the cable goes on. The right spring, the spring adjuster, a lever that gets held in place by the spring. There's a plug that goes back here, a rubber plug that's missing. So obviously not cutting on these guys or anything, but they weren't highly skilled mechanics by any stretch.
And it's way easier to do this before we put the axles in too. So
Okay, so they weren't good mechanics. How were they as body guys? Well, let's pan up over here. So this is like, lo and behold, every Torino guy I've talked to says he doesn't even understand. They don't understand why this had all this rot right here, especially with as clean as the rest of the car is. It makes no sense at all.
no rust, no rust, no rust, no rust. No rust.
actual rust. No, I
This
mean,
looks like rust, but on camera, but it isn't. It's just dirt and crap. Yeah, no rust down here.
yeah, except for the oddest place. You know, it makes no sense. It's like, well, how did they like spray rust in there or something? But so anyway, so we're taking this thing apart, and there's duct tape right here. Ah, it's like duct tape, or actually, that's not even duct tape. Dude, that's just like regular body tape. It was covered. So they used body tape. They used rubber. Looks like roof material. They used metal. They used Bondo. I mean, they threw everything at it but the kitchen sink.
No plywood.
No plywood. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is roof tar, man. They used roofing tar. They just basically covered over all the rust. And then they put pieces of metal in there, and there was insulation in there. So there was insulation, regular tape, just regular masking tape, duct tape, random pieces of steel, Bondo. Typically they use Bondo and steel. Two materials.
But you usually attach the steel. You don't just shove it in there and.
Yeah, it wasn't even welded together. Or they could have just put one piece of steel and cut this whole thing out and just put one piece of steel. It just
Man, like we're gonna do.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Because man, we do not want to replace this quarter panel. We could. But that's just a whole.
But the
big
rest of
project.
it, I mean, it is so damn solid.
No, it's weird, man. And I don't know what happened here. They must have ran up against something because that giant crease all the way down the car.
Yeah, it's hard to see on camera. Oh, I guess you can see a little bit there.
But you know what? That's because this is a southern car and they don't know how to drive in the south.
We're gonna get the hate mail on that one. Send your letters to Chris at
No, not my real name.
Giovanni at Clever Name Garage.
How about northerners that go to the south don't know how to drive?
There you go.
Northerners that go don't even do that. All right,
Can't see you. All right, so for the last little bit of our update on the Torino, got new shocks installed, new trailing arm or A-arms, lower A-arms, new rotors, calipers, ball joints, things like that. But what we found, and we don't remember doing this on the 71 Mustang, are these ridiculous retainer clips that hold this outside pad against the thing. These clips are ridiculous. They're impossible to put on. These are silly too. And then the caliper has this silly bracket that we have to finish putting back on that doesn't appear to do anything at all. I'm not sure why this is on there, but it's just silly. So that's where we stand now. Probably going to stab the engine in maybe next week. So Giovanni, say goodbye to the world. Tell them to like and subscribe.
Goodbye to the world. Like, subscribe. I hate doing this stuff, man. Hi, welcome to Clever Name Garage. Here we are once again, working on can Funky Cold Patina. That's the name of the car. We're naming our cars now. We're calling this one Funky Cold Patina. Yeah, that's right.
Because you'll notice
The patina.
the unusual
patina.
patina that she has. The Funky Cold Patina.
Patina.